administrator appointed what's his name, the supervisor again? Louis? Now, I thought Louis also has a boss if he's at the DPW, right?
Right.
So shouldn't the commissioner take more responsibility for that? If he's running these employees, which he shouldn't be in the first place, and again, it's in violation of the Walsh Act, you call having to vote for something like that? I just want to put that on the record, okay? And again, you're hurting the taxpayers, not me. And politics do not belong in the town hall, just so you're aware. And you're doing that, and you're doing it at the price of the taxpayers. And as far as anything else,
That would be R2 is going to abstain, R11 using the vote yes. So it's only R2 and R12. R12 you voting no. Anything else on the agenda? Resolutions, Commissioner? Okay. May I have a motion to move the consent agenda R1 through R17 with the noted exceptions? The motion is by Commissioner Vargas with a second by Commissioner Frias. Commissioner Frias? Commissioner Rodriguez?
Yes.
Commissioner Vargas?
Yes.
Mayor, Commissioner Wiley, I'm just seeing notes. And Mayor Roque?
Yes.
Next item on the agenda is a hearing and final adoption of Ordinance 1413, which is an ordinance repealing Ordinance 4396, which had established a restricted parking space for a handicapped resident at 162nd Street. Mayor, would you please open the hearing on ordinance on item 0-1, which is Ordinance 1413.
Floor is open.
Does anyone wish to be heard? If no one wishes to be heard on Ordinance 1413, may I have a motion to close the hearing and adopt?
Motion.
A motion by the mayor with a second by Commissioner Vargas. Commissioner Frias?
Yes.
Commissioner Rodriguez?
Yes.
Commissioner Vargas? Commissioner Wiley?
Yes.
Mayor Roque?
Yes.
Next item is hearing and final adoption of Ordinance 1513, which is an ordinance amending Section 76.2 and 76.3 of Chapter 76 of the Code of the Town of West New York regarding personnel. Mayor, please open the hearing on 02.
Hearing is open.
Yes, hi, Wayne Cook, 6131 Jackson Street. Good afternoon. What is this pertaining to? Can you explain it, someone, what the town administrator?
It's the adoption of a new handbook for all the municipal employees. So the handbook was sent to the Labor Council to be updated, and this ordinance,
Basically like a union book, basically.
it's a little bit more, it's got a little policy in terms of who punching in, vacation, yeah.
Okay.
So that's, thank you.
Does anyone else wish to be heard on Ordinance 1513? If no one else wishes to be heard, may I have a motion to close the hearing and adopt Ordinance 1513? A motion by the mayor with a second by Commissioner Vargas. Commissioner Frias?
Yes.
Commissioner Rodriguez?
Yes.
Commissioner Vargas?
Yes.
Commissioner Wiley? Mayor Roque?
Yes.
The next item, Mayor and Board of Commissioners, would have been a hearing and final adoption on Bond Ordinance 1613, but we were instructed by Bond Counsel William Mayer that the local finance meeting has been postponed until August. Therefore, we cannot take any action on this matter today, so we would have to carry it and republish it for our next commission meeting, which would be August 21st at 12 noon. So do I have a motion to carry this to the next commission meeting based upon what I just advised? Motion by Commissioner Rodriguez, with a second by Commissioner Vargas to carry Bond Ordinance 1613 to the August 21st meeting. Commissioner Frias?
Yes.
Commissioner Rodriguez?
Yes.
Commissioner Vargas?
Yes.
Commissioner Wiley? Mayor Roque?
Yes.
Next item on the agenda is an introduction of Ordinance 1713. It's an ordinance amending Chapter 277 of the Code of the Town of West New York regarding parking. All ordinances introduced today for first reading will be published and be further considered before final passage at a public hearing on August 21st at 12 noon in the court chambers. A copy of this ordinance and all ordinances being introduced will be posted on the bulletin board in the municipal building, where they're customarily posted on the town hall, and they'll be at no charge to anyone who wishes a copy of same. We have a motion to introduce ordinance 1713. Someone wants to, sir?
With regard to public code, one of the issues that I have is, I noticed that we have a lot of police officers here. I understand that as far as where these people park, we used to have a lot out there parking. And when I have a cop that's working on a shift, and I understand that now we have employee parking tickets that they have to have, so they don't get a ticket, so they gotta pay to come to work. Which is, I find a little obscure, because any other town usually don't have a lot to their employees to park. Our town, we don't have. And I know we took away that parking lot down underneath the Riviera Tower that we used to have, which is like the cops took home. Okay? And, I just don't find it being supportive of our officers, especially when a cop comes from another car. And he has to be on his shift and come back and put a quarter in the meter. And there's been a lot of complaints, I understand that the cops have been getting a lot of tickets. We were parking in yellow zones, or I guess that there's nowhere to park, and we understand the parking is a major situation. And the other incidents that I have also is that I just want to make sure that this town's going in the right direction. We're raising fees, which, I have a lot of people come to me that lose their cars over the parking tickets, they lose their license. Okay, in return, again, it gets worse, they can lose their job, which you can't get them. I think we need more to focus on how we're going to resolve this solution with the parking. Because obviously, there's nothing being done. I understand that the parking authority is a $2 million deficit at this point. And I would like to see some plans where we have some kind of initiative here to start focusing on what are we going to do with the lots we have. And we were trying to sell the property on 67th and Park Avenue. That's not a solution to our parking problem. And, I'm just, we have to be more responsible here as commissioners and what we're allowing these people to do in the town. And it's not here about making up this deficit, we still have to serve the people in the West.
Quick answer to your question. Commissioner Frias has been saying how she's been working with Richard Rivera to close the gap of the deficit that was left when we assumed the administration. What she's doing so bad, Commissioner Andrews.
I'm just going to go answering your first concern with regards to parking. We offer a professional pass to anyone that works in the town of West New York and does not live here. And a lot of the officers, as well as a lot of the firefighters and any professional that actually comes to work, we go to the parking authority and purchase a professional pass, which they put in their dashboard, and they can park where they're, as a professional, who's protected for resident parking. Breaking the law, parking in the yellow zone, in front of the fire hydrant, no one should be doing that. It's just breaking the law. Bottom line, doesn't matter if you're a police officer, myself, any commissioner, so those tickets are very legitimate. So it's more, they should be concerned with that, seeing they're trying to, comply with it. So if they are concerned with having permission to park, especially during our resident hours, we have permits for that. We also provide them with a pass, if I'm not mistaken, from, yes. Correct.
That is also offered to the police officers. They're employees.
Right.
But without paying, or
They don't pay for that.
they don't pay for that. I don't know I want to understand what the complaint is.
And he also made a point about the parking, and was it Boulevard East?
It's open to the officers.
We were talking about the parking that we used to rent.
We ended up that 57.
Okay, we used to rent the parking lot, and we were saving like $4,000 or $5,000 a month by not having it. Yeah, we're saving $4,000 to $5,000. So we're trying to cut the deficit. We save taxes.
But listen, 59th Street is still open to the officers. It's only a block.
They don't have to pay.
They don't have to pay.
No one pays for parking.
No, they're employees. Employee parks there.
Only need a decal.
They're not still running to them, taking
No,
to
they
the
don't pay
streets.
decal. The yellow decal for employee parking is free.
Right.
the professional pass for professionals that come to work in the town and don't live here is to protect them from resident parking tickets, and that is something they purchase in the parking lot. Now, with the other concern that you have about closing this particular gap, this is not only about increasing fees, but if you read closely section 277-27, we have a $30 monthly visitor pass for a month. What we are doing and we decided to do is instead of selling it for 1 month, is to sell it for 1 year. So it went from $1 a day to practically nothing for 1 whole year for $30. Which will do is it's going to allow the residents to have more coverage when it comes to protecting themselves and their families that come to visit for resident parking fines. So we will be selling these together with our resident stickers because they went from $15 to $10. So when you say increasing fees, we are actually decreasing some of these fees so that we can make it easier for the residents to purchase them and make it more convenient. So if they have a resident, they don't have to come to the parking authority and purchase a daily pass when they have a 30-year yearly pass. So if you read this carefully, you're going to see that this is more to for the comfort of the visitors and the residents and the families. So this is going to, by selling this $30 a year permit, it may seem like nothing, but if we sold 14,000 resident stickers and we sold not even 20% of that's going to increment the revenue by almost $80,000 in the parking lot. So the focus is to actually close the gap as much as possible without having the town to carry over and increase taxes that, it's not something that we're looking to do. And, it's just making it more comfortable for the residents. Okay? I hope that answers some of your questions.
Okay. I understand your attempt to, and this could open up another problem too for you, because you have a lot of people who might want to have it here. Even if it's $30 a year.
Well, what happens now is,
That's like, push this.
Okay, come on.
Nice move on, I understand, I'm almost, I understand, but the thing is, the $30 a year, that's like if I wanted to get a pass for my family or my friends. Now, anytime someone will be parking here out of town or doesn't have it, $30 a year is anything. I'm just saying, it's hard to control how many more cars you're gonna bring in here every year.
right, there's one pass per family member. If they wish to purchase it, it's up to them. We're not enforcing this, it's not obligated. If they wish to buy a pass, a lot of people come to us and say, well, my cousin, my daughter, my son came, and what do I do? So we're offering this to like your seniors that get sick and their family come to visit them and take care of them. This way they'll have a placard. Whenever something happens, they don't have to be inconvenienced and come back. And the other thing that's happening, our 2-year professional, a lot of forgeries have been going on. So that's why we are reducing it to 1 year. We had the 2-year professional passes, and we had people forging them left and right. More than 50 of them came back, and they were forgeries. So by doing it on a yearly basis, now these are going to be laminated with an insignia inside that when the PO sees that it doesn't have that, then these people will get a ticket for forging these passes. So we're trying to kill 2 birds with 1 stone, reduce the forgeries and also make something more convenient for the residents.
And just one other thing, besides why I'm trying to reduce the deficit, the gap there, or whatever it is.
Correct.
And a lot of times, like you say, salaries or whatever, is going on the side of the department. But the reality is, we need additional.
So if you want to know what was coming out of the department, you can Oprah everybody's salary and for the record, I don't make $140,000, guys. I really don't. So there should be some people that should get their information properly before they vote.
Where is your vision? What is our vision for this partnership?
The vision is to make it more convenient for the residents as far as people coming to park here from other towns. That's the one thing. By providing them the proper permits. Number 2, closing the deficit that the money that are left over from this bond in 3 more years is going to be disappearing. We just made a payment of $200,000 July 1st. The remainder of that is for the next 3 years. By doing things like these and increasing his revenue by $80,000, just doing this. The other revenue that we brought in was from renting the lot behind Las Palmas to Hudson Hall. That's already going to generate us $48,000 additional. So now
You did rent the 2 floors on
it was leased to that particular theater.
That's kind of problem. That's where we have a situation, and it's people that can't park there.
When you were asking a question, make up your mind. You either want something to be done properly to improve revenue, what do we do? Just make the lot be empty and not generate revenue?
Let me interrupt both of you.
Do you
Excuse me,
support the
Commissioner.
let me ask all of you
Yeah.
this question. Do you support the selling of the lot on 67th Street?
Commissioner, getting back to that question you asked, and Richie Rivera is here, the director. Richie, that lot used to be empty all the time, yes or no?
Yes, and that's parking authority property, not town property.
Thank you. And what did you do? Now you're getting, what, $48,000?
A year,
So now it's positive for the town.
yes.
That's, you can't, it's a no-brainer.
But negative for the business.
I don't
But there's
understand
two
why
more
negative.
floors available. There's 2 more floors available for the business owners and the residents to park there.
There's been complaints. Guys, I work with the people every day. I don't just sit behind the desk.
Understand,
I
Commissioner.
communicate with the business.
Commissioner, I'm
There's
gonna tell you,
nothing but problems here, that there's no parking in the evening now. They take it to way beyond over and measures. That machine don't even work in that lot. I should sit there for 10 minutes trying to get a ticket out of it.
with
Well,
both
there's a
of,
lot of things here that aren't right, and when you're trying to sell property in the town, park anywhere you want, which people drive for 4 hours and sleep in their cars, I have an issue with that.
Commissioner,
That's not the way to close the gap.
Commissioner, we're in the medical field. When you get a patient coming to you with a complaint, you gotta listen to them. And I understand you're listening to the town people, but I recommend sit down with Richard Rivera and Commissioner Priya and place your inputs in it, because I tell you, what I don't want is 3 years from now having to send money over there to the parking authority because they're broke. So by closing the gap, we're able to save taxpayers money, but get involved with their authority and go ahead, Priya.
If I may, with regards to the machine, I said at the last meeting, these machines are in the process of being upgraded. We have to pay $11,000 to change the whole machine, and that's what we're trying to do, find the revenues to cover these, so they can accept credit cards, so that they don't jump. This all technology embedded into these terminals. They were purchased many years ago, and that, it's 2G, it uses 2G instead of 4 or 3 or whatever it comes. So it's something that is already obsolete that we now have to deal with. So we inherited a problem that now we're trying to solve, but it's gonna be, it's gonna cost us. These terminals cost $11,000 to $12,000 depending on how many features we activate. So if the issue is being addressed at the terminal, that's one thing that we have to go to fix it all the time. And I understand that, and I hear you, but it's not that we've been ignoring it. It takes time to go out to bid, to get the proper pricing and the proper equipment so we can replace what we have, and we don't end up with the same time that we have with our economy.
I just want to make it last thing is that selling the property is not the answer. Selling parking spaces that we don't have, as far as 67th and Park Avenue, when it's trying to be sold to the builder, is not the solution. And I hear rumors that the parking lot blocks up from Birmingham to go to town is sold to the builder.
Okay, I never heard that rumor. Joe DeMarco, you know, explain to us about selling, I never heard of selling anything.
I know, commissions, whether it's parking authority, town property, something that's a lot of them. We're limited with space, it's not there. I want to keep developing where you put these spots. I mean, I'm just saying, this is something that is new. I don't want to hear it's just parking authority, we'll try jobs,
I understand what you're saying, but I cannot and will not get involved in the intricacies of the parking authority. That would defeat the purpose of having a separate authority. I can't do that.
but it's okay when you will mention the site, you're supposed to be taking care of it.
I'm going to say to you, Commissioner, when I was a resident at Mount Sinai, I remember a couple of times, 3 o'clock in the morning, sleeping in my vehicle until I got a parking. And you are correct. We're trying to solve the situation, and we are. And they're doing a fantastic job. So, Mr. Rivera, thank you, Commissioner Priest. Thank you for your time.
Not to reiterate something. The parking on 97 is up to the middle. That's the way they know. We're getting complaints from officers. How's that,
Well,
Bob?
what kind of
Oh, we're getting complaints about anything?
They don't know about the
Explain
Our
to them.
officers are complaining that they're getting tickets for parking.
The officers that were getting tickets for parking yellow zones. And they're not supposed to be parking.
Breaking the law, right?
Okay, so they can go to
They
59th
can go
Street,
to,
or they can
they've all
walk
been
up the block.
informed, they go to the parking lot, get the permits, or the overnight permits. The issue was officers were parking in yellow zones, and that's why they're there.
Was it Marked vehicle to unmarked
It was
vehicle?
unmarked vehicle.
So
Actually, they're private vehicles.
So that the parking authority enforcer will not know that that vehicle belongs to a police officer or a regular resident?
He's gonna have, unless they have a shield in the window, but either case, they're not supposed to park.
Yeah,
That's
Commissioner,
right. It's a yellow
break
line.
Thank you, sir.
nobody's above the law, sir. Thank you.
Oh my god, this guy. This is like a joke.
Motion for the introduction of ordinance 1744. Who wants it? The
He's
motion
such
by
a
Commissioner
joke.
Frias with a second by Commissioner Rodriguez. Commissioner Frias?
Yes.
Commissioner Rodriguez? Commissioner Bar?
Just curious,
What
where's,
do you need?
oh,
Name.
Gary Collins, and I live in North Turn. Where's Bill Garcia today?
You guys is having fun, he's on vacation.
Okay. I was hoping you were gonna say it's a personnel issue, you got no comment.
My name is Gary Travis, I live at 553 I just kind of, I know you guys are saying you guys are trying to do everything and to help the residents. I know the streets are really dirty, and one thing I would suggest is that you guys purchase some more, garbage trash cans and place them around town, like especially in the block the residents are living. There's really not anywhere for people to put all the garbage or anything, right? Like the few garbage cans that we have are mainly on Bergline Avenue, and they're kind of in that many. Sometimes when I walk, I have to walk for like 4 or 5 blocks before I find the garbage can. So that's just one suggestion. Another thing that I have is, I know you guys are saying about the yellow line parking, and you guys are like trying to address the parking situation that we have. Well, one thing that I think you guys should do is between the hours of maybe like 9 and 9, you guys shouldn't sit in the yellow line. You should allow residents that are looking for parking, because all the people that are parking there are people that are going to leave anyway in the morning because they know that they're already parking the vehicle. And I think that you should allow, like, you shouldn't enforce that as much. You should allow the residents to park there because, there's not as much parking that we do. And a lot of residents, like,